We've used the word cancer a lot during this conversation so far. And of course, there are lots of different types of cancer. You can differentiate them depending on location in the body, brain, pancreas, prostate. Of course, the different pathological types of cancers as well. So when we say cancer, do we need to be a bit more specific about what we're talking about? Or would you state, based upon your research, that actually all of them are fundamentally the same? There is a problem with respiration. There's a problem with generating energy in the mitochondria. Just help us understand that, if you will.
Yeah, well, that's really so important because we were all led to believe, and we still are pounded by information saying we have a therapy for your specific kind of cancer. You hear this all the time. Like breast cancer is different from colon cancer, different from brain cancer, different from bladder cancer, different from the leukemias. You hear this all the time. And that's based, again, on the somatic mutation theory of cancer. When you start to look at the mutations in all these different cancers, they're all quite different from each other. They're even different from each other within the same type of cancer, within the same tumor. You'll find all kinds of different mutations. But all of the cells. Now, what I did, I went back and I said, well, if all the cancers that we know are fermenting to get energy, that says there's some commonality between them. So in order to justify that, I had to go back and go through historical records on ultra histology, the way electron microscopy, ultrastructure of the cells in a cancer. So I would look at lung cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, bladder cancer, blood cancers, and I was looking for a commonality. And that commonality was abnormalities in the number, structure, and function of mitochondria in all of the major cancers. And that's what I found. And in the concepts of evolutionary biology, structure determines function. This is a well-established concept. Structure determines function. If the structure of the organelle that generates energy through oxygen is abnormal, the function of that organelle will be diminished in some significant way, leading to an alternative energy, which would be fermentation. So when I went back and looked at all of the major cancers, I found abnormalities in all of these different cancers. And then that would lead to the explanation that they would all need to have fermentation in one way or another. And that leads to the concept that if they do ferment, there's only two fuels that they can ferment, which is glucose and glutamine. And we know every major cancer is dependent on glucose and glutamine fermentation. So it comes right back to yes, they look different under the microscope. They look different in their genomic profiles, but metabolically, they're all very, very similar and will respond quite effectively to a singular strategy of metabolic therapy.